So, hi everybody, it's Friday again. It's time for another episode of Jonnychipz Weekly. My name is John Lunn, aka Jonnychipz, and today is Friday, the 4th of March 2022. This is episode number 62 of Jonnychipz Weekly. Thanks so much for joining in. Let's get into the episode. So, hi everybody and welcome to another episode. For some reason I seem to be really bright on the screen. The sun's just started coming out now and I think I got a bit too much light on my face. But hey, it's better than none whatsoever. How you all doing? Hope you're all well. Thanks for joining me. Episode number 62. Can you believe it? I know I say that every week, but you know, it just baffles me how I've managed to stay consistent for 62 weeks. But hey ho, you know, stranger things have happened. Like I say, hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the show. Same format as usual this week. Lots going on again. Lots going on. Some really exciting things going on at the moment that I'm really looking forward to kind of break in. It's going to be interesting to see how these all pan out now over the coming weeks. But for now, like I say, it's the usual format. As I scramble to find my button, let's head on over to the desktop and do some community call-outs. Okie dokie, so let's start things off. Spotted this last night, Chris Reddington doing one of his YouTube talks on quantum computing. I managed to catch about 20 minutes of the episode. Really fascinating conversation going on with between Chris and Johnny. Really talking about quantum computing and Microsoft Q Sharp in terms of how do we use quantum. So both, well, mainly from a theoretical side, you know, exactly what quantum computing is all about, what qubits are, you know, the theory behind them, the probability and the how they actually come into to being used for computational purposes, and obviously what the benefits are. You know, we hear, I'm sure we've all heard about the kind of the speed of quantum computing, the theoretical speed of how quickly it could, in theory, you know, break by today's standard quite a secure cipher standard or encryption technology. So head on over to Chris's YouTube channel, take a look at that episode. I'm going to watch it back because I did miss a chunk of that episode. But like I say, really cool, really interesting area. Go and check it out. In other news, David O'Brien tweeted me this morning, actually. You know, I put a call out to say, look, what has the community been up to this week? And David messaged me back to say that he'd written a blog really about he's obviously created this security application, security services based on an Azure platform called Argos Cloud. Now, one of the things that he's had to do recently is update, you know, quite a substantial number of documents in an Azure Cosmos DB, 4 million documents. And so really this blog article breaks down, you know, some of the ways and some of the considerations and thoughts that go into that. So if you are, you know, utilizing a lot of data in a Cosmos DB and you do need to do some bulk updating, David's done a really good job just to kind of put his thought processes down and actually, you know, talk about the eventual mechanism that he used to do that bulk update and what he actually used. You know, even down as far as, you know, looking at using the Cosmos DB SDK, you know, the kind of memory and compute capacity that would be needed, how long roughly thought that it might run for. It's a really good article. Go and check that out if that's of interest to you. So head on over, follow David on Twitter. He's at David_O'Brien. And go and reach out because I'm sure you'll have no problem having a chat if you need to. So yeah, thanks for that, David. Really interesting stuff. In other news, Nicholas Chan, thanks for raising this one to my attention. I did notice something the other day, but completely slipped my mind. But yes, Nicholas tweeted this out only a day or so ago. Effectively, we've got a new troubleshooting Microsoft Azure connectivity exam going to be coming soon, called the AZ220, well, the AZ220, 720. So really interesting. We've got the AZ700 networking associate exam. This one is to troubleshoot connectivity. So that's going to be a troubleshooting specialist. So interesting stuff. Looking forward to that one. I might give that one a go. I don't know. There just seems to be a lot of certification coming through from Microsoft at the moment. You know, I've got a few booked in a pipeline that I'm studying for and not getting the time to study, which is always the way. But yeah, this certainly seems like another interesting exam. So yeah, go and check that out if that's of interest to you. Other news, user group news, Nottingham IoT, Not IoT. My good friend Clifford Aegis is actually on there talking about using the ESP32 for cool IT projects. Now, for those of you that have followed me for any time will know that I've been following the likes of Pete and Cliff on IoT Live for a long, long time now. The guys are always doing some fantastic things, and Cliff is just it's another one of Cliff's talks that is just they're always brilliant. They're always really cool when you're dealing with microprocessors, things like Nano Framework for actually developing on those microprocessors and actually getting these little devices to do and control things. Always really interesting, fascinating sessions, and Cliff gives great talks in those areas. So go and check that out. That is on the 17th of March at 6:30 p.m. GMT. So yeah, looking forward to that one. Other user group news, the amazing Azure Cloud Native user group, their next session is on the 8th of March at 8 o'clock, where they've got ArmoSec, a session on ArmoSec. They're going to tell us how they're contributing to Cloud Native in Azure. So go and check that out. So thanks, Richard, for retweeting this out. Either go and follow pixel_robots and find the link, or head on over to meetup.com and find the Azure Cloud Native user group and go and get yourselves signed up for that. So yeah, looking forward to that session as well. In other news, so excited to release the ultimate Windows Autopilot guide from Dean at the Cloud Management Community. So he's got another YouTube video. It's on Udemy. I'm not sure if he's put this on his YouTube actually, but yeah, he has got that on the YouTubes, but he's got a link to Udemy. So go and check that out if that's of interest. The ultimate guide to Intune Autopilot. So Windows Autopilot, Intune Autopilot. Which one is it? Which one is it? Dean, message me. Windows Autopilot, Intune Autopilot. Answers on a postcard. Drop us in your comments. Drop your comments below. But yeah, great to see that. I did have a little play with Autopilot a little while back. Probably need to brush up my knowledge on it a little bit more now. But yeah, cool to see. Thank you to Dean. Other news, yes, Mert tweeted this out the other day. So I've been back playing a little bit around with containerization at the moment, just in a little bit of spare time. And this caught my eye because, we've heard about the concept of Windows containers being slightly inflated, slightly large in size, and kind of breaking some of the purpose behind what containerization is about. So Mert retweeted this, which is basically a blog article from Hayden Barnes on how to create a lightweight Windows container dev environment without Docker Desktop. So really interesting. I've not gone through it line by line, but to be honest, I might very well do this. I might follow this through. But Hayden has put together what seems to be a fantastically detailed blog article, really around how to build that lightweight container, Windows container. So like I say, I may very well follow this through myself and take a look at it and get it up and running and see what I think. But I'm not sure if you can see the size of it, if he's got that anywhere in here. But yeah, off the back of it, just looking at the sizes that are being pulled down there, the first couple of things. I mean, I know that doesn't say a lot, but we could have a look at that container image there. But yeah, it's a great article. Like I say, I've not followed that through myself, but I very well may do when I find myself with a spare half an hour or so to kind of work through it. So thanks, Hayden. Thanks, Mert, for retweeting that out. That's great to see. Okay. Call for volunteers for the South Coast Summit 2022. It's taking place on the 14th and 15th of October down in Southampton. If you want to get involved and help and volunteer, then head on over to M365 Summit on Twitter and go and fill that form in, put your name forward. Always great if you can get involved and help these fantastic community events get off the ground and get organised. So yeah, go and put your name down if that's of interest. The Azure User Group of Sweden, their next session is actually tomorrow, the 5th of March, where they've got a session from Henry Bean on Bicep, so infrastructure as code for Azure reinvented. That looks to be quite a cool session, so go and check that out if you can. And yes, in other news, I've started reading this fantastic book by Ryan Mangan on the Azure Virtual Desktop. He asked if I could be a reviewer for it, which of course was not a problem. I'm a couple of chapters in on the book already, and to be honest, it's just a fantastic read. You know, so far so good. Well done. Congratulations, Ryan. Officially out at the end of this month, but I thought I'd give him another call out here. I did it the other day. AZ 140 is one of those exams where I probably should have sat it by now. I've done a fair amount, not a huge amount with Virtual Desktop, but I think I've done enough projects that would warrant me knowing a little bit to be able to pass the exam. So I thought, well, when Ryan asked me to review this book, I thought, yeah, that'll give me an excuse and an opportunity to refresh my knowledge, you know, really from the ground up by taking a good read of this book. You can see 700 plus pages of great detail. So far, so good. I'm a couple of chapters in, looking forward to getting to the end of it. And I think at the end, what I'll do is I'll book and sit my 140 exam and see if I can use that knowledge to go and pass that exam. So yes, looking forward to finishing that off, Ryan, and congratulations once again. And finally, Keith Atherton, you know, he's a great guy across the community. He's doing some cool stuff at the moment. Look out for him. If you're not following him, go and give him a follow. Lovely guy as well. He's been on with Mert on Mert the Future. He was on last night. Again, with everything going on, it's just I don't seem to be watching half these sessions, but I retweet them because they're from brilliant people across the community. You know there's going to be good quality talks going on there. How to prep for Microsoft certifications off the back of what I just said about 140. Go and give that a watch, a follow. Head on over. It's on the Azure Live Twitch TV channel. It'll be there for a week or so. So go and give that a watch and go and give some shout outs and love. Retweet, let us know that you're watching it and let us know what you think. So there we go. There's the community call outs for this week. Cool. So there we go. Like I say, thanks to everybody that does all the fantastic stuff across the community. It's really appreciated. You know, there's so much going on and it's great to see. So huge thanks to everybody. Okay, next step. Let's head on over and have a look about what's going on in the Welsh Azure user group for this month. I don't know why I pressed the button halfway through I'm speaking, but hey ho. Okay, not a huge amount to catch up on, really, just to kind of publicise that the next Welsh Azure user group session is on the 16th of March. Please do head over to Meetup and give us a like, follow, RSVP. We are looking for people to RSVP, but we've got the amazing Elkan Yusubov coming on to talk about using Bicep to be successful with Azure. And we've got our very own co-organizer, Mr. Matthew Fortunka, that's coming on to talk about building apps with Blazor and Signal R. Now, I'm going to say nothing more than that, but that should be quite a fun, interesting session. Looking forward to seeing how that one turns out. So 16th of March, 6:30 p.m. GMT. If you can RSVP and come and join us, we would most appreciate it. Looking forward to it. If you've missed any sessions, check the playlist out below. Last month, we had the session from Marcel and Heiko. It's there, ready, waiting for you to replay it if you need to. But equally, check out. I think we've got 19 videos. I think that's 18 sessions and one or two little. I think it's 17 sessions maybe. But dating right the way back to our first session in September 2020. Well, the first one we recorded. But yeah, go and check those out. There's some awesome talks in there. So there we go. Okie dokie. So, like I say, there's been lots going on for me personally, work, community. There's so much going on at the moment. It's really good to see. You know, I thoroughly enjoy getting involved with all the stuff that I'm doing in community. But for now, let's head on over. I'll call out a few bits and pieces that we've got coming up. So the first thing I want to call out is, I started a new video series. I'm probably not going to be as a regular cadence as the In Convo or Jonnychipz Weekly. A little bit of a frog in my throat there. Apologies. But really, pleased to kind of call out that my schooled in session is really about the technical dive on, a technical area where I get to ask the silly questions. My guests come on, they've got a technical subject of choice that they're coming on and schooling me and effectively telling me a little bit around what it is, how to get involved, how to get started, those kinds of things. So first session, huge thanks to Kevin McDonnell. He came on to school me in Microsoft Viva. Had a really good session, half an hour or so of, Kevin talking me through the ins and outs of the Viva suite of products, I guess you'd call it, with the different towers in there. So yeah, it was a really good session. It's available to watch now if you want to go and check it out, and please do so. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and let us know what you thought of that video. In other news, huge thanks to Jay Gordon for being my guest last week on In Conversation With. Really great chat. That's available to rewatch if you need to. Jay is a great guy. He's just moved to positions in Microsoft, but he was a cloud dev advocate for quite a while with Microsoft. He's now moved. I think he's moved into a principal program manager type role. So on Cosmos DB. So if you are in that area, Jay is your guy. Go and hunt him out on Twitter and go and ask him all your Cosmos DB questions, because I'm sure he will be more than happy to get involved with those. In fact, I think he tweeted something out the other day that he's looking for people to reach out and talk Cosmos DB. If you are using it in any production systems, then reach out to him and let him know. So yeah, thanks to Jay for being an awesome guest last week. But it is Friday. It's time for another episode to be released this week, and it's none other than the amazing Vanessa Anderson. So Vanessa, hugely fantastic person, doing some great stuff in her day job. Look, we've been reaching out and talking to each other briefly on and off, and cross paths on social media for quite some time. It was an honor to kind of finally get to say hello properly to Vanessa. Cool, brilliant, fun, person working in tech at the moment, and I really enjoyed that session. Really looking forward to it going out tonight. If you can join us, jump in the comments and say hello. Please do so. We cover some really important topics, from Vanessa's background to her way into IT and where she is currently as a senior CSA at Microsoft right now. But like I say, some of the other important topics around inclusion, diversity, and women in tech, we touch upon those and really get, Vanessa gives us such a positive outlook and a positive view on those sometimes quite tricky areas to discuss and talk about. They shouldn't be. And, it should be a case that we're talking about them in a positive light. But sometimes I find that, you get dragged into this negative connotation side when you talk about these important topics. And, especially, being the person I am, I'm kind of like the epitome of this middle-aged white man in tech. Well, look, we are the dominant kind of demographic, I guess, in the UK or Europe today. And should that change? Well, yeah. Why should it change? And look, all of those important questions we discuss in tonight's video. So, like I say, purely positive spin on everything. Vanessa is a super fantastic person, great fun, lovely lady to have a chat with as well about some of these topics. Do join us. Again, join us, drop some notes in the comments, let us know your thoughts and feelings. Give us your opinions on things. Look, at the end of the day, we should all be grown up enough to discuss these topics in an open forum for the benefit of all. It shouldn't be sometimes, we talk about sometimes topics are a little bit taboo, and yeah, we get that with social pressures and things that are that maybe come to the front, but we need to bat those negative connotations away and just really focus on the positive side of things. So hopefully that's what happens in this video. So go and check that out. Look forward to that, and like I say, please do join us. So yeah, and a huge thanks to Vanessa for being an awesome guest. It goes without saying. So yeah, look forward to that. In other news, my quest to use the Oculus Quest 2 has taken a turn into Horizon Workrooms, where I had my first work meeting, believe it or not, on Horizon Workrooms this week, where we all donned our Oculus Quests and actually sat in virtual reality and did a bit of presentation, desktop screen sharing, all that good stuff. To the extent that I thought I'd do a little video. So my first look at Horizon Workrooms. If you don't know what it is, head on over, take a look at that. You can see me having a little bit of a play around. I don't know if you spotted there, but I got some great wall art set up there in my workroom. But yeah, go and check that out if you've got an Oculus Quest or any VR headset. I mean, this is the Facebook app, but Horizon Workrooms, go and get signed up and go in. I've found quite a lot of bugs in it so far, it's probably fair to say as well. So look, the team at Horizon Workroom, I think it might still be beta software, but hey ho, go and check it out. It's good fun. And finally, big shout out to Mark Christie. Thanks so much. For those of you that don't know, I've got a son that plays ice hockey, avid follower of the Elite League with Glasgow Clan, Cardiff Devils, place like that. Managed to pop up to Glasgow, a couple of months back now. Met up with Mark. Mark got me a Glasgow jersey sent down because I think obviously Mark's company Proximo 3 sponsor Glasgow Clan, so it was cool to see. I'm going to get it's a little bit snug, might be a little bit snug on my boy, but I'll see if he can squeeze into that and get some photos. We'll get him up on the Twitters soon. But huge thanks to Mark for arranging that and sending it down, and obviously Glasgow Clan. So it's great to see. So there we go. Head back on over. Okie dokie. So we're nearing the end of the show now. Let's head on over to my final section of the show, which, of course, as we all know and love, is the news section of the show. Let's do this. And hello and welcome to the news section of the show. Right, without further ado, we are just going to jump straight on in and have a look at the announcements for this week. There's probably been about 10 or so announcements, so let's just start off with general availability. As your Red Hat OpenShift support for OpenShift 4.9 is now GA. Asset certification in Azure Purview data catalog has gone generally available. So as the data catalog grows in size, it becomes important for data consumers to understand what assets they can trust. So data consumers, they must know if an asset meets their organization's quality standards and can be regarded as reliable. So Azure Purview allows data stewards to manually endorse assets to indicate that they're ready to use across an organization or business unit. GA, Cosmos DB API for MongoDB now supports version 4.2. Azure Sphere version 22.02 has now gone GA as well. Azure Backup protects Azure files snapshots via lease feature integration. So to protect your snapshots against accidental deletion, Azure Backup has added one more level of security to the Azure Files Share snapshot management solution by integrating with Azure Files platform capability of acquiring a lease of the snapshots. So the lease operation creates and manages a lock on the snapshots for delete operations. So after taking a snapshot, Azure Backup takes on infinite lease on it. This lease protects the snapshot from accidental deletion to ensure that the snapshot does not get deleted during a restore operation. So Backup also checks the lease status at the beginning of the restore, and in case it is found to be non-leased, it acquires a lease on the snapshot. So that's cool. So Azure Backup protects files by that's what the lease feature is. Public preview enhancements to Azure Form Recognizer for Azure Applied AI services. So there's been some enhancements to that solution. More public preview announcements. The SKU recommendation is Azure SQL migration extension for Azure Data Studio is in public preview. There's been some general availability updates for Azure SQL this month. So zone redundant storage and local redundant storage backup options are now available with Azure SQL Hyperscale database. Some preview announcements for Azure SQL. Increased resiliency of Azure SQL Hyperscale databases using zone redundant storage. Run T-SQL queries on Azure Data Lake from your SQL Manage instance. Okay. GA, specify the API language runtime version is your static web apps. Okay, you can see there you can specify it during the static web app.config.json config file. And more public previews. Your Synapse link for Azure Cosmos DB partitioning Spark 3.1. IoT Central generally available now in also South Central US and Canada Central. And finally, a public preview Azure Percept Dev Kit of February 2022 has had a software update. Let's just have a quick look. So, got a new firmware that updates over-the-air packages. Yeah, okay. Doesn't give us too much. There's some release notes there. Should we just click on those release notes? There we go. Not a great deal. Latest security updates. Oh, there we go. It was worth having a quick look, wasn't it? So there we go. Thanks for tuning in. That's been our news for this week. Okie dokie. So yes, thanks everybody for tuning in. It's been another fun episode this week. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please do like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Would be hugely appreciated. Any comments, drop them below. If you want to appear on the show, you know what to do. Drop me a 30-second to 1 minute video of something interesting that's going on at the moment. Ping me over a link to download that, and I'll get you featured on the coming week's shows. But until next week, I've been John Lund. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day, wherever you are in the world, and a great weekend. Don't forget to tune in tonight for In Convo with Vanessa Anderson. But until next week, I shall see you then. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.